This is the Just Stop It Show. Welcome to the Just Stop It Show. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Wherever you are, whoever you are, this is Just Stop It. Yes, we have another Sunday night with you. We thank you for passing through with us tonight at Just Stop It. We've got a great one for you tonight. We got a lot of tea and coffee to spill tonight. Oh my God, we had such a good time on at the pit stop on Wednesday night, and here we are again this Sunday, and we got a great Sunday for you because it's also we are still celebrating Women's History Month, and we have another special day today, St. Patrick's Day. Oh, some people are probably saying, and we'll tell you all about it in a few. And before we even get started, just a friendly disclaimer. We're not a medical advice. We do not subscribe to medical advice. We are sharing information to enhance your life, to enhance your mental health. And again, this is just a friendly disclaimer. Anything concerning our videos is not intended for a medical professional. It does not replace any medical professional advice. Please seek your medical professional team for anything concerning your mental health, physical health. Again, we are here for you. And we have our hotspots of this show, our own, very own opulent one, Shannon Grace Chappelle in the house
Hey,
tonight.
how are you
Hey,
doing? How are
Shannon.
you?
All
How is
right, all
everything?
right. Oh,
Good.
everything is good. Everything is everything. Yes,
Wonderful.
and we've got, and glad to see you.
Glad to see you too.
Glad to be seen. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. And we've got our apple that does not fall far from that amazing tree, our very own Trey Wiz, our
Hey
media
y'all.
producer in the house
Y'all
Hey.
tonight.
crazy on this platform.
Hey.
What's up, y'all?
All
What's
right.
up?
What's up?
Nothing much. It was a good day, y'all. How was y'all's
Yeah, it
day?
Absolutely,
was. It
absolutely.
was a good day
Yes, it
too.
was. Yes, it
Very nice
was. Yes, it
outside.
was. It really
Yeah.
was.
Hope y'all got outside. I see three people
Absolutely.
already in here watching. Shout out to those that are watching right now. Welcome to
Yes.
Just
All
Stop.
right.
If you haven't watched us before, this is us. Feel free to say hello or jump in on the conversation. Don't be afraid. I'm
Please
glad we
do.
catching you,
Absolutely.
so far, but we getting into a nice subject today. So what we talking about,
Yes.
Yes.
Professor?
Tonight we're highlighting actually we're talking about tiny heroes, big lessons, our children.
Mm-hmm.
We are focusing on
Mm-hmm.
our children. Well, the children are the focus period because
Yeah.
without children there's no parents. I'm just
Yes.
saying. But tonight
Got
we're
that
just
right.
highlighting the importance of teaching children about the strength and resilience of women throughout history. Parents,
Mm-hmm.
children look up to their parents, moms, dads, whoever the caregivers are, uncles, grandfathers, grandmothers, aunties,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. We don't forget them because they are the extended caregivers. And shout out to all those grandmothers, grandfathers, aunties, uncles, and of the sort, cousins, even big brothers and big sisters.
Yes.
We all in there. So tonight, again, we're focusing on the resilience of women through history and how they've been teaching, what children have learned from women's resilience, how women
hmm
bounce back.
Mm.
What are our children learning in the way that our women have bounced back? Things have changed from generation to generation. But what
Yes.
are the challenges our women are facing, have faced, and they're overcoming? And what's making them strong? How are they resilient? And how are they
Mm-hmm.
teaching our children, the effects? What are the effects of that resilience? And how do children embrace it? What do they know about it? How do we
Good
incorporate
questions.
stories of
Yeah.
resilient women throughout history in our children's education? Some children don't even know why, mom had a hard time, or grandma, grandpa, and them,
Mm-hmm.
hmm
you know, had a hard
Mm-hmm.
time that they didn't have a cell phone. you know,
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
they ask the question, why
Yep.
didn't they have cell phones? Why didn't they have computers? How did they communicate? How were they talking? How would they have
The old
conversations? They
fashioned
have
way.
or
Yeah.
okay,
The old fashioned way.
Yeah.
That's the way. That's how.
just like we doing the old
Right.
Mm-hmm.
fashioned way, having
Talking.
a sit down,
Right.
having a
Shout out to
burger
those that are
fries
listening.
chat.
I see the number going up.
Exactly.
Shout out
Yes,
to those
Thank
that are
you
absolutely.
listening.
guys.
Don't
Thank
be
you
Thanks for
afraid to
being
say
guys.
here.
hello, say hey or whatever.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. So yeah, so we are thinking about that. We're asking the questions. You guys have questions tonight about how you have suggestions about how to incorporate stories of resilient women. How to share those stories with our children, with our community. You're not just talking about
Mm-hmm.
our children, we're talking about community, because community, they're our children, locally and globally. How do we bring it with them and say, listen, this is how it was then and this is how it needs to be now, and
Uh-huh.
and do it in a collective way,
Yeah.
integrate it into the curriculum. So many states have taken away so much history from the curriculum, so many of our children don't know anything about where they come from, where they're going. They don't know anything about other nations, and let alone the resilience of women that have passed through on their behalf, so that they could be and be that phenomenal person that they are. What you
Yeah.
say, family?
Well, I'm glad that we're trying to teach them. I'm glad that everybody
Exactly.
hasn't lost hope. I'll say that much.
Wow. Can you
I'm
imagine
glad
if we
nobody's
did
lost
Yeah.
lose
hope.
hope?
That
Oh
people
my
are still
God.
fighting. That people are still
They
trying
Yes.
to do it.
are.
Yeah.
Yes.
I,
Yes.
I think that we really have to go back to making sure the elders, especially, trying to drive home and tell those stories about,
Mm.
different types of resilience that we've had overall.
Yes.
And what mom had to go through, what grandma had to go through. You know, I don't really think that it's really up to the school system. I don't think the school system has taken yeah, the school system has taken out so much about everything to tailor it to what they consider to be proper or what they want children to learn.
Mm.
So it's really, to me, it starts at home.
Yes.
It starts
I'll
at
give you that, of
home.
Yes.
course. You're right
You
about
Yeah.
that.
have
Yeah.
to,
You're
you
right about that.
have to instill certain things, and it's not the responsibility of the school at all. The school or the system, I hate to say it, really doesn't care the way that we should care.
Yeah. Very
Um,
true.
it's important. Let's just say, our brothers and sisters, our indigenous people. You know what the narrative that was given to us. I mean, to given to the world about Native American people. And you probably, I think, when I was in school, you probably got Christopher Columbus and the Thanksgiving dinner, celebration and that type of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Christopher
But
Columbus, the
they're
murderer.
the murderer. But
Murderer.
when and it's exactly that, and that's
Yeah.
why it's changed from
Yeah.
Christopher Columbus Day to, I think, Indigenous People Day. But there's stories within that story. Do you know what I mean? That you
I
only
know
can
what you mean.
really,
Exactly.
really get
Layers.
layers. You can only really
Yeah.
get that story
Exactly.
from the people that came before us.
Yeah.
Right.
And in particular, I think women highlighting other women, which we don't do
Yeah.
a lot.
Hmm.
When
Exactly.
you sit down and you tell the story of, I use the example of indigenous people, or African American people, or wherever it comes
Hmm.
from,
Right.
to say, in this time, this is what I had to do. This is what so and so had to do. This is what we were facing. And telling those stories and being very honest and transparent with the children, so they can
Yeah.
really get it and feel it.
Yes.
But again, I probably repeated myself, but I'm going to say it one more time. You're not going to get it
Hmm.
from other people. You
Yeah.
get the
Yeah.
real
Yeah.
meat and potatoes from your own group,
Yeah.
your own religion, whatever you're from, to tell you those things. And
Very
then they
true.
can
Exactly.
take that information and they can
And
go look it
share
up
it.
further. And
Very
then
Yes.
true.
Yes.
if you know the full story of a lot of things, of that resilience and everything, and you can take it, and when you hear something else, you
Hmm.
would know. The children, when they hear something else, they can fill in the blanks. They can
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
what's true and what's not true. But we got to provide
Exactly.
them with something.
Yes.
You got to
Exactly.
do that at home. You
So
got to
they
do
Exactly.
can
it at
cope.
home.
Yeah. So they
They
can
can
cope,
cope.
and they have a lot more challenges, you know, uh, compared to
Uh-huh.
any other generation in my mind in history. They have a lot more challenges. The thing is to share, like you said, share the provoke these thoughts in them.
Hmm.
It should be thought provoking conversations as to what it was and what it is,
Mm,
and where they need to, and how to integrate those challenges into us and turn them into a solution,
mm.
Yeah.
and through project-based learning, through role modeling, and celebrating, even it's even celebrating important dates. Now, St. Patty's Day may not be important to some, but it's
Uh-huh.
Black people in Ireland. I'm just saying.
Yes.
And I believe you got a couple of, if I'm not mistaken, somebody correct me, but I do believe you got a basketball player who's a Black
Uh-huh.
Irishman.
Don't get me
and
Yeah.
lying. I'm
and
not gonna.
uh,
I ain't,
yeah, I believe it's a black
don't have me lying about it.
it's a basketball player. He's a Black Irishman.
Uh-huh.
The thing is, and then you have so many people who live in other countries, Black
Hmm.
people in
Yeah.
Italy. But I'm
Yeah.
just saying, integrating this information and comparing how people live in one place and comparing how our children
Uh-huh.
live here in America, it will help them to face those challenges and branch out and explore.
Right.
And
Yes.
that's one of the things I got to give a shout out to Ari. Ari she's an explorer.
Uh-huh.
Ari, she's I don't know if she's in the house tonight, but she's an explorer. My grandson is an explorer, but they come from a
Uh-huh.
long line of explorers, and they never been afraid to think outside of the box.
That's a good
Yes.
thing.
What is this? What is
That's
that?
a
Who
good
is this
thing.
person? Who is this group of people? And
Yeah.
why do they look different? And why do they speak differently? And
Uh-huh.
how can I speak their language? How can they understand my language?
Uh-huh.
Things like that. So that's like a call to action. If we teach our children, if we just foster that, we can foster mental health awareness by
Uh-huh.
engaging them, because sometimes
Mm.
Yes.
they're overwhelmed. They're like, oh my God, who am I?
Uh-huh.
Where am I? What am I doing
Yeah.
here? What is it? What kind of meaning, what is life and of the sort? And
I
many
feel you.
times we find out who we are in other people through other cultures. Not to
We
say that
do.
maybe some embrace it and some do not. It's just that how to have these conversations, how to teach strength and resilience of women, the women who have come through from all walks of life. Now, for
Yes.
Mm.
our women of color,
Uh-huh.
indigenous women, they have a whole different story to tell.
Oh
Every
yeah.
every woman has a story to tell. It's just to how you tell it,
Yeah.
whoever it
Uh-huh.
reaches, and when is it reaching, and how does the message fall, you know.
I feel that.
So teaching our children that, because and it also will provoke conversations. So many
Hmm.
people are afraid to talk with our children. Can you imagine? So many people
Yeah.
are afraid to engage them.
I mean, I
You'd
see.
be surprised.
Yeah, I get it. I get that.
You'd be
I get
surprised
that.
what's
I
on their
get
mind,
that
what's in their
too.
head. Mm-hmm. You'd be
But
surprised.
One thing
they
I
they
wanted to
want to
I
say.
think it's
talk.
really. Oh, I'm so sorry. Excuse me. Go ahead,
Mm-mm.
Trevon.
No, you're okay, Mom. Well, I would say actually,
Uh,
two things real
uh-huh.
quick. I wanted to say to Miss Yelena. I noticed she's in the background, so I don't know if you wanted me
Oh
to
yes, that's
let
why I
you
was
slide
waiting.
in or not.
Yes.
If you
Yes,
wanted
she
to,
should. I
yeah,
couldn't
if
see
you want
her.
to, Miss
Uh-huh.
Yelena, you can put your thumbs up. I can see you in the background, so let me know. Okay, cool. So she already said I can let her in.
Cool.
So this is Miss Yelena. Awesome lady.
Yes.
I'm glad I had a chance to have a conversation with her, not to take over the show what we're talking about, but I wanted to highlight her because she's has awesome energy. I can't wait to work with her in the
Yes, she
future. I'm not
does.
gonna say what we're gonna
Yes.
do with
Exactly.
her in the future, but great things are coming soon. So she's a wonderful person to have on. This is Miss Elaine, everybody. Hey, Miss Elaine,
Absolutely.
Hi, good evening,
Hey.
Hey,
everyone. How are you
what's
Yelena.
How are
going
doing?
on?
you?
I'm glad you stopped by.
How you
You said you
doing?
Yes,
would.
thank you so
Um,
much. I keep
Oh
yeah.
my
my
promise.
God.
Oh
How
yeah.
you
Thank
doing?
you,
Absolutely.
guys.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. I'm working
Yes,
on
this
some
is another
pages.
amazing woman.
Oh,
Look at that.
it's
Oh
great.
my
Look, I
goodness.
already
Oh
I
Travel.
already
man.
told her that I already told her that
Beautiful. I
her
know
and
you're working
my
hard.
mom, her and my mom, Miss Elena, this is my mom, Shannon Grace Chappelle, the
Hi,
opulent one, the
how
one
are
that you
you?
see at the
Hey.
top of the screen. I was telling
How
you
you
on the phone that
doing?
both of y'all are very creative people. So doing things
Oh,
with your
thank you.
hands. I'm gonna turn this back over to everyone else, but I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna show them my fall that you made for me. So I'm gonna bring
Okay.
that into the woodwork somewhere in the conversation. But Miss Elena, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for being
Thank you
on.
guys for having me. But
Thank
you know,
you.
you're right
Absolutely.
about
Look at all these amazing people.
being afraid to talk to your children sometimes. You're right. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you an example. When we spoke about Christopher Columbus, my teenager, she's 17 years old.
Yeah.
She said,
Hmm.
Christopher Columbus is not a good person. He's a rapist.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Right.
Okay.
He's bad.
You see?
And because
You see?
and
She
because
put it out there. She spilled the
and
tea.
because
Yeah.
and because my children are still little, I'm like, is he
Wow.
bad? Because I try
Yeah.
to we try to shield them with all of my children at every age, at every stage. I reveal a little bit more
Yeah.
about life.
Hmm.
They get older, don't let no one touch your private parts, don't let this.
Yeah. No, no
Little by
Right,
swear
little,
right.
and all
by
of that.
little,
Yeah.
Yeah,
until they're
yeah,
Yeah.
old
yeah. Safe
enough and they get the
space.
whole shebang.
Yeah,
Like with my oldest, we don't shy away from stuff. We talk,
exactly.
like it is. Like she's gonna hear. I
Exactly.
said, I'd rather hear from me than from somebody else.
Very
I'm like,
true.
Yeah.
Exactly.
that's how it
Very
Exactly,
true.
happens.
Elena.
I'm like,
That's
that's
the
Mm-hmm.
way
Yeah.
how
to
we
Mm-hmm.
be.
got here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
That's.
I tried,
Yeah.
Miss Yelena,
Exactly.
I tried to be that way too with Trayvon's my first child.
Oh,
And it's kind of like, I don't know if you
Yes, I
remember
am.
Trayvon. When
Right.
something came up, I said, yeah, uh-huh, but he owns slaves. Like
I believe it.
I could not be,
Hey, Kenneth.
I couldn't, we call it sugarcoat it, you
Yeah.
know,
Right.
that
Right.
was the reality of what it was. And I tried to, I guess, age appropriately, for their
Exactly.
age,
Exactly.
Hmm.
try to
Yeah.
explain to them that, hey, but this was going on. Now, I know some things,
Right.
you find out through history, you find out, like I said, age
Hmm.
appropriate. I mean, you
and
can't get
little
Mm-hmm.
down
by
to the
little,
dirty, dirty,
like little by
down to
little,
the
I
dirty.
spoke to my daughter, my
Yeah,
oldest, about racism in the
Yeah.
workplace and
yeah,
about how they treat us sometimes differently than others, and
yeah,
Yeah.
little by little,
Yeah.
until she saw the things that I've been through, and
yes,
she's heard my
Exactly.
stories. But I tell her we have to learn to live with them and be stronger than them and 2 steps ahead of them, because
Hmm.
now they're just gonna eat us alive. I said, but we are just as good, not even better.
yeah,
Exactly. Exactly.
And I
Exactly.
don't
Yes,
sugarcoat a
Elena.
lot of stuff. I don't sugarcoat a lot of stuff. I put
yeah,
it gently and professionally and as polite as possible without being
yeah,
vulgar and using profanity.
Exactly.
But little by little, they know
Hmm.
what's out there, the
uh-huh,
dangers,
Exactly.
the things of to be prepared. And I'll give you an example. My little one, my husband's like, "Wow, Valentina, you got all the problems right." She's like, "Yeah, I use my tablet."
Uh-huh.
yeah,
And had it been with my first, I would have raged and gone off because there's no shortcuts in life. But I
Yeah.
yes,
told her,
I feel that.
uh-huh,
I said,
you
Valentina,
know,
because she's my little one, and I think with her, I have to be a little bit more gentle because of how she is.
Hmm.
I said,
Yeah.
baby, when you take that test in school, there's not going to be no tablet to help you see. You have to
What
yeah,
do
focus
you
on that.
feel
You
like,
can't do that.
Miss Elaine, I have a question for you. What do you feel like the hardest thing as a parent, or maybe like the hardest lesson or thing that you had to sit your child down about? Like, if you obviously it's something that you feel like is too deep to share, obviously, but just like things that we do wrong as kids. A lot of things I know I did to mess up as a child, little silly things I shouldn't have
I'm going to
done,
give
and
you
you
I'm
know,
going to give you a quick story. My
sure,
oldest,
sure,
about a year or two, I want to say 2021, right?
yeah,
We had COVID at home. We were sick. We couldn't breathe. My lungs, I was coughing. I get a phone call from school that she's not
Wow.
feeling well, that her other friends took some gummies.
Oh
oh
wow.
And
wow,
Oh.
yeah,
Oh
Isabella
wow.
is,
oh,
and Isabella
mm,
Wow.
in her school, she's considered like a golden child. I could never do wrong. And I was
right,
so
Okay.
pissed off because I'm like, how could she do something so stupid? Because
uh-huh,
Mm-hmm.
when we do bad things, people tend to lose respect for us. it
mm-hmm,
yeah,
doesn't just it doesn't just go away. So it was kind of like, oh
Yeah.
my god, her image is tainted, and I'm like, Isabella, I tried to
Mm.
scare the life out of her, and I was like, you're gonna have a
uh-huh,
criminal
But they're
record.
chance
We're
yeah,
takers.
gonna
They're
put this
chance
on your
takers.
record. You're not gonna
Ah.
get into a good college. Like I put
Mm.
the fear of God in
yeah.
her because
yeah,
Mm.
I wanted her to realize
That's
her
a good
feelings.
answer.
And I said, Isabella, your friends could have died because one of the girls got a really bad reaction.
Yeah.
Mm.
yeah,
And
Wow.
I had to go pick her up at the hospital. I hit her. I was so pissed off. So pissed off. Now we joke about it, but
Yeah.
at that moment I was so upset. I was so angry.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
one of the
yeah,
hardest conversations to kind of have with her, that.
Yeah.
And
excuse
then
me,
also about like sexuality, and at her age she
Yeah.
people,
Mhm.
oh,
Mhm.
I'm bisexual, and to be honest, I was raised an only child, and I was
Hmm.
raised, a Catholic household. We're Catholic, but
Okay.
we're not like super religious where we're like talking about God all the
Yeah,
time.
I understand.
Okay. Okay.
But I'm simple, and so I was like, oh my God, like I have to sit here and God forbid, like, like you think the worst. I think that's
Hmm.
a
Mhm.
conversation that's, even to this day, I haven't really sat down with her and said, you know what, babe, what I should really do is, baby, it's okay, whatever you decide to do, whatever
Right.
path you take, I'm going to be okay with.
I
Mhm.
feel that.
I've had to grow up with that, meaning grow up
Yeah.
Yeah.
as a mature woman. And this is just for the
Exactly.
last
Exactly.
4 years.
Hmm.
You have to grow with that and really like grow into acceptance with that. You just don't accept. As a
Yeah.
mom, is a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do understand that.
But
Well, that
now
that
at this
Yeah.
comes with
point, as I've
accountability.
gotten older, I think
Mhm.
if it were the point to have that conversation, I think I would be in a better place to have it.
I feel that.
It
That's a
has.
good
Mhm.
answer.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
hard.
It
Solid
It
really
has
answer.
to.
is. It really is.
Solid answer.
You
Well,
and
we,
and
I
that
Yeah.
mean,
that comes into
congratulations
accountability and
on all the,
support. You're good.
yeah,
You're
being
doing
account,
good.
yeah, on being
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
accountable. That's what I
being
was
Accountability and
going to
tough,
say.
support. Resilience.
every
Mhm.
day, tough,
Yeah.
tough.
Perfect example of resilience
Yeah.
And I
and
keep
showing
telling
and
her
role
how
modeling.
amazing she is. I keep telling her how
Mhm.
wonderful she is, not to let anyone break her spirit, not to let
Mhm.
Exactly.
anyone tell her she's not any better. I said, you can get into any college you want to, just the same way they do because they got money. We don't have
Hmm.
it, but you have the grades and you can do anything you want to.
And the
Mhm.
Because
spirit,
I
I
she
feel
hear
has
like
the
that.
if I
spirit.
don't give her that spirit and that
Yeah.
uplifting, I don't want her to grow up to be like me. I want her to be a better person.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I'm
Absolutely.
I
digging
felt
that.
like that
Absolutely.
too. To
Mhm.
breathe
Being a
life
parent is
into
hard.
them.
You go through all the emotions.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
got
you
the little
do. You
ones
do.
too. And then I
Yeah.
got to deal with the
Yeah.
people in the
Yeah.
workplace.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that part.
That
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
think that just getting them to understand and was preparing them as much as you can. I know for me, speak for
Hmm.
myself, that the
Hmm.
world is not going to be as kind as it is in this house. There are
Yeah.
people, and Trayvon, you heard me say this a lot. There are people that don't care and will see you having a medical emergency on the ground and will step over you with no
Yeah, we was
caution
talking about
at
that on the phone
all,
earlier. We was
There
at
talking
was
about that on the
all.
phone
something.
earlier.
There
And
was something that
Mhm.
happened with
Yeah. Yeah.
Isabella. There was something that
yeah,
happened
Yes.
with Isabella.
Yes.
It was a lady, a teacher.
Mm.
This
mm,
I don't mean to get into the race card or whatever. It was a teacher.
Yeah.
And I wrote a teacher a note because we couldn't do homework for whatever reason. I think it was like a really good, and I wrote the note. And she started picking on Isabella. And I went to
Mm.
school. I had a conversation with the assistant principal. I
Oh
said, let me
wow.
tell you something. I am here and you see me, right? I am her
Mhm.
mother.
Mhm.
You see me. I was like, and I told them, I said, let me tell you something, okay? Isabella is a very good kid. You do not pick on her. You do not pick on my child. You do not make her feel
Exactly.
less. I said, if I
Yeah,
mhm,
don't
wrote a
treat
note,
her
there's a
indifferent.
valid reason
Exactly.
for it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
She
mhm.
treated Isabella nice for the rest of the school year.
as she
Okay.
should
You
But
showed
I
it
anyway.
up.
told
To be
You
Isabella,
showed
honest,
Isabella
up.
was
anyway.
scared. And I
Mhm.
said,
And I'm
don't be scared.
Mhm.
Ain't nobody going to mess with you.
and I'm sorry. Please forgive
Exactly.
me. It's your name is Yelena.
Yelena, yes.
Yelena. Let me
I
tell you
told
this.
her out on the phone. I didn't
I
want to mess
tell.
it up.
Don't
I
worry.
know
It's okay.
I will mess up a name very quickly.
It's
You
okay.
know, I
That's
I
okay.
I would tell anybody. I say, you know what? I can't do anything in jail.
Right.
But by
Yeah, you
by
often
going on,
remind us
you
of
know,
that opulent one. You
Yeah,
often
I
I
remind
said
feel
I
us.
that.
can't do anything in jail, but I said I
But
will be
Word
sitting on
up.
that teacher's desk with
but
a
you know what I
Mhm.
cigar in
taught
the
my
dark
daughter at that moment?
when she
Yeah.
I
come
told
in
With a cigar.
I told
Straight
her
with
I
a
up.
don't
cigar. And I
Uh-huh.
say it that way in a comical way, just basically meaning, I have had situations um, where, back then in the 80s, if you had a learning disability, you really were, put in a box.
like my
And
Yeah.
daughter, my
I've had
little one.
teachers that really did not like you because of that. They had to deal with you.
They don't want to
And
Yes.
Yeah,
deal
I
with them.
have
They
yeah,
don't want to
had
deal with them.
I have
yeah.
had
Yeah.
everything, and I'm gonna be really transparent with everyone. I have had
Mhm.
everything growing up as a child, from being strangled to being told that I was not up to par in some way, even being
Mm,
compared to, my sister in a lot of ways when we had
Wow.
a teacher that was that
That
taught both of
working.
us, in a
yeah.
Can you
6 year time.
imagine?
So
Wow.
so there's a part of me deep down in there that's the mother bear that I'm not going to let. It's a little
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
extra.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
that's okay.
It's all right though.
It's trauma.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it
there's an
is. Yes, it
anger.
is.
There's a thing deep down in there that I'm going to get you if you touch them
Yeah.
in any shape, way, or form. If you do anything to mess up their self esteem, if you do
Yeah.
Yeah,
anything to make
yeah.
them feel uncomfortable, I will get you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes,
I
but
My
that
did
mom
that
don't
came
last
play.
from
year.
My
those
mama don't play.
things.
Right.
Those
Don't
things
exactly.
that have
I don't.
happened to me that I don't want to
Yeah.
happen to my children. Trayvon is way
Exactly.
out of school, but I still got one that's
Way
still
out of
in
school.
school.
Yeah, but
He out of
she is.
school.
Yeah.
He been out of
Right.
school
I'm
for a
not.
while, and it's
Yeah.
it's hard. But trying to, I think my problem is, like I said, transparency Sunday.
Yeah.
My problem
Exactly.
is not going so far off the handle of protection where my daughter can't come to me and say this is happening because she know mama's going to show her behind.
Yeah.
You
I
know what
feel
I mean?
that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Or
Exactly.
to make her think that she did something wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm telling
Exactly.
you,
Exactly.
I
Exactly. I
won't
want
say my
everybody.
phrase here, Trayvon, but
Right. Yeah.
if you want to see it,
Then let me show you. Then let me show you. Right.
I'm gonna leave the word out. I'm gonna
I
leave
ain't
the
need
word
no.
out. Fill in the
It's
blanks.
all right.
Yeah. I
It's
ain't
all
need
If
no
you
right.
want to
invites
see
to walk
that,
to the bathroom
Where's
and
your
all that when I was
stones? Where's
younger.
your
you know what I'm
I
stones?
ain't
saying?
I'm
need
feeling
all that.
one. Where's your
Right.
stones?
You know,
Right.
Where's your
you
motivation
go hard.
stones?
But
Oh,
I
let me
do
let me
want
get
to.
that
You
I
out.
do.
do want to do something.
Uh-huh.
I do
You
want to
know,
do something.
I
I
need
want
this.
to pull it if you need to.
Okay.
It ain't no look. Pull it
Oh,
if you need to. Breathe.
okay.
Everybody relax and relate
Whew,
for a moment. It's all right.
just relax. Look,
Ah.
But I wanted to make sure that we don't miss the
Mhm.
comments because that's one thing I got to
of
be
course.
big up on. Me trying
Yes,
not to obviously
absolutely.
interrupt y'all, but making sure we
Yes.
remember the people
Yes.
that are in here. So for those
Yes.
people that are
Let's
watching
get
right
to it.
now, thank you for staying in here as long as you are. Shout out to
Thank
my
you.
friend Paris for stopping in. She says, I feel
Oh,
like I'm teaching my kids more history at home than school. Yeah,
You
and
are.
Straight
that's
thank
up.
you
and
for
Straight
unfortunately,
up.
that.
yeah, we all
Yeah.
kind of know
Yeah.
how that's gonna go. So that's
You
Yeah. You
are.
have
all up
to.
to
You
us.
have to.
It's all up
Yeah.
to us
You
to
have
teach our
to.
kids how that's
Let
gonna
us
go.
Yes,
know.
it is.
Tell them.
Yeah.
Yes. I
Yeah.
also want to shout
Yeah.
out
You
my
have
friend
to.
Kenneth. He says, "Greetings, everyone. Everybody say hi to Kenneth and
Hey,
Paris.
Kenneth.
Hey, Kenneth. Hey,
Say
Hi,
hey,
Kenneth.
Hey,
Paris.
Kenneth. Hey, Paris."
How you
Hey,
But
doing?
Paris. How y'all
and
doing?
also my friend Brian stepped in as well. He watched the last
Okay.
show. As
All right,
do Kenneth
Brian.
and Paris. So shout out to the three of them for being in the comments. He says the kids
Yes.
nowadays
Absolutely.
want
Thank you, guys.
recognition for doing something right. So he said kids
Yeah.
today
Yes.
want recognition for doing something right,
Yes, they do.
They
which is
should.
yeah, which is true. I
Yes,
don't know.
and they
We
should
didn't
have
really
it.
They
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
should.
I
They
I think,
should. They
It'll
but
go
is
a
really
long
there
should.
way.
now? This sparks a question for y'all, as especially
Okay.
as mothers. Me getting a chance to talk to three moms, that's kind of cool. So do you
Huh.
think is there a level to it? Because
A le-
you don't want your child looking doing things not naturally because they want to do something that's right, but because they are getting something out of it. There's a few reasons I would think of that I wouldn't want to do it, but too much. But let me ask y'all and turn the question over y'all. So do y'all think
mhm.
there could be such thing as giving them a pat on the back too much?
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Professor, you're welcome
Overcompensation.
to start first. Miss Elena and then
Yeah.
my mom. Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
I'm already thinking, overcompensating. Sometimes as a parent, I've done it. I've done it when my children
Yeah.
were much younger because I was working 3 and 4 jobs
I feel that.
and I did overcompensate in some way. And then you don't want to reward bad behavior. You want to
Yeah.
Very true.
figure out if it's bad behavior or socially unacceptable behavior. You want to figure out exactly what it is, pinpoint it, and use other things a comparison, but you never want to overcompensate. It's not good.
Exactly.
It's not a good fit.
I feel
So
that.
yeah,
Mhm.
you want to stay clear of overcompensation, because what could happen is you could, I have to say, in income, I have to say mental health issues could begin to happen. I have to say
Okay.
it can
Mhm.
affect their mental health at an early
Can you give me
stage,
an
at a
example?
point. Um, I have to, okay. for example, because while Yelena was talking and
Mm-hmm.
Opulent One was sharing,
Mm-hmm.
um, what came to mind back in the 80s, because every decade, I have to say, education principles
Mm.
change.
I
Every
feel that.
decade it changes.
Yeah.
So teachers, I have to say, the educational system per state, per country is different anyway, but I'm saying the overall mindset and the mind shift in education for our Black and brown people.
Yeah.
So what happened what happened was, my youngest Ari, she's been an A student, on top of her game, like Yelena said, her baby, from day one, from pre-K stages, from pre-K. And when she went to this school, she went to another school, and I love public education and
Mm-hmm.
I like private education, because I've been a part of both. So when she went to the school, she had this third grade teacher. She was in that school like 2 months. She dropped from A to D.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
And right away I knew something was wrong. She was anxious. She was very well, she's always been like quiet, but she's always been able to share her thoughts. She was like I said, she was in the third grade.
Mm-hmm.
And she always came home like super quiet. I was like, why my child so quiet? She was
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
always
What's wrong?
playful and I said something is wrong, and I could feel it and see it in her spirit. So when I got a report card, oh my God, I was like Elena. I was pissed. I was floored. I was everything. So what happened
Mm.
is, in my time being a boomer, we were like the village. We came together with every generation. At the time, my mother and my two sets of grandparents was living. So we set up a meeting with the district. We set up a
Mm.
district meeting, and three generations of people showed up at that meeting. And the administrator, she was shocked. She was
Mm.
so shocked, and she was
Mm.
so amazed
All
that
that
three
power.
generations, actually, it was
Yeah.
four generations, was sitting in that room, because it was
Mm-hmm.
Ari, me, my mom, and my two grandmothers was
Ooh.
sitting. Power, understanding, and wisdom. It was like God Himself showed up. I'm just saying.
Right.
For
And they
grandma.
were like,
Ooh.
the teacher, two grandmothers,
Right.
her grandmother and her great grandmothers was in that room. Do you understand, Yelena? So I feel
Ooh.
you. I understand. So when we walked away from that meeting, they was all they could see was the big L lawsuit,
Mm.
because we shared with them, if you don't deal with this teacher, because the teacher she was
Yeah.
seriously biased, and she had
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
understanding on how to teach my child. She said my child talked too much. And I said,
Mm.
well, I know she talks too much. However, how do you engage her in the conversation? How do you
No,
engage
no.
her in a lesson? How do you share with her when she needs to speak? How do you, in other words, how do you navigate her
How you shaping
personality?
that? Yeah. How
Yeah.
you
How,
shaping
Yeah.
how
that
you
as a
shaping and
teacher that's
nurturing her
trained to do it?
personality, her character? You can't just shut her down. She's
Yeah.
like that. You understand? And
Yeah.
so many other children
Exactly.
like that, because we talk to her, we talk with her, we
Exactly.
engage her in conversations and activities as a
Mm-hmm.
collective.
Mm-hmm.
I said, look at the people in the room. I said,
Mm-hmm.
if you didn't know,
Mm-hmm.
I was like Kirk Franklin, now you know. So
Exactly.
we set up a liaison. A
Mm-hmm.
liaison came. Well, it was another person, and another official was a liaison. And
Mm-hmm.
we straightened that thing out immediately. And I got her up out of that school, put her in another school that was fitted to her powers. I'm just saying,
Mm-hmm.
it
Mm-hmm.
was fitted to her powers, and she really made it through, because she came from a group of women who were resilient
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes.
effective, who could just speak to people and say, listen, this is what needs to happen, and this is what's not going to happen anymore. We stopped it. And
Exactly.
we also stopped it
Mm-hmm.
on the behalf of not just our child, but on behalf of our community. Because just
Yeah.
think, if
Exactly.
they were treating this one child, this one star, just think of the rest of the stars, how they were trying to burn up. You understand?
I
Knock
feel
out
Yes.
their
that.
lights, their low lights.
Good.
So
Good answer.
yes, I'm just
Good
saying that,
answer.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Good
what has to happen.
answer.
It has to be ongoing,
Yeah.
because it will
Solid
affect
answer.
the community of children, their mental health.
Yeah.
Yes, advocate, don't complicate. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I know that's right. Let me turn the
There
question
you
over
Yes.
to
go.
Miss Jelena. I wanted to ask you the same question. So I was asking, in the beginning, I was asking if there's a level to the pats on the back that you give your kids. Obviously, you want to encourage them as best you can. I can't
Oh,
imagine how hard being. So shout out to all the parents in the comments and stuff too, because I can't imagine trying to juggle all that and you thinking for yourself and then thinking for them too in a way. But is there a level to it? Is there a
I
limit to how
I've
much you pat them on the
noticed,
back?
I
Hmm.
noticed with my son, he always wants a reward for good behavior. He's just that kid. Every kid in my house is different, right? He gets good
Right.
grades, he's very intelligent, but he's a negotiator. He's a tough kid. He's a very tough kid to
He's
raise.
a negotiator.
He's a
He
That's all
negotiator.
sounds
right.
like
No,
my
no, no.
grandson.
He's tough. But I try to keep my kids humble. Like
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
I also tell them, I let them know, you know what, baby? Mommy doesn't have any money. So
I
whenever
feel
mommy
you.
has money, we'll go and we'll get, whatever it is, if they want something from Starbucks or simple things. I let my
Right.
kids know that money doesn't grow on trees, that everything that we have is because we work hard for it. And I
Yeah.
keep
Good
telling my
reasoning.
son, he
Yeah.
keeps telling me, I hate school. I don't want to school. I said, you're going to be a homeless man because you're not living in my house as a grown man. No, you
Right.
know what it is?
Oh
I want
Right
to
now.
teach him
Oh
the
wow.
you
value of
playing?
education because what if I die?
Yeah.
And then I leave this spoiled, for example, I leave this spoiled brat that doesn't know how to fend for himself or do nothing for himself. And I don't teach him to
Hmm.
be humble but I also like to point out that they have so much more than other kids.
Yeah. I
And
feel
what they
that too.
have, I'll
Absolutely.
give you an example.
Absolutely.
Last week, I had to send them to school without breakfast, but I know they give breakfast in school. But honest to God, I didn't
Right.
have
Which is
anything to
good.
eat here in the house. I didn't have anything. And I was like, you know what? You got to appreciate the times when we do have stuff, and you got to appreciate the times when we don't have anything at all, baby. I was like, I'm
Exactly.
sorry. We don't have no milk. We don't have no
That's
cereal.
the
We don't have
truth.
anything.
Yeah.
And that day, I
Yeah.
had forgotten that God works in funny ways. I had forgotten that I had ordered some oatmeals and some stuff from Sam's Club, and it came in that day. So I felt better because I knew the next day
Luckily,
I have something to eat.
one time. Yeah.
But I keep my kids humble. Oh, all of them.
Understood.
As
Understood.
you should. That's a
Understood.
good
But
spirit to
when I
instill in
buy
them.
them stuff, I buy them simple stuff. I don't buy them.
Extravagant. Yeah. Exactly.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Good
You
But
answer.
you're
they
Good
you're
answer.
great
yeah,
in this
my
digital
sometimes they
age.
do get
Wow.
Mhm.
they
Yeah.
do get overcompensated because when you don't have much when you grow up, you always want to give them more.
Yeah.
But I always remember
Yeah.
where I come from nothing. I remember where I had nothing. So I
I feel
always
that.
Yeah.
Got to keep
Yeah.
instilling that in them. I'm not mad at that. What about
Exactly.
you,
Mhm.
mommy?
Exactly.
Same question for you. Do you think there's a limit
Oh,
to it? Should there be a limit? Is there a limit? What do you think?
well, when you say that, I guess let me
Hmm.
ask you just so I can understand. You said a
Yeah.
limit to what praise to the
Well, yeah.
kids, or
Thank you for the clarity and asking and
Mhm.
make sure
Yeah.
yeah. So that's exactly what I mean. You want to let kids know that they're doing a good job. As much as we may discipline our kids or say things to them that we're saying out of good heart or saying out of just
Mhm.
having just being a good parent and just caring, and then your child not really seeing it like that. So as much as we do that,
Mhm.
and we try to, we notice things and notice that we need to pull back and limit. So I'm asking, is there a gauge or level to how much praise you're giving them so they don't get programmed by it? Like, for instance, Ms. Yelena said that,
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
still tell my kids, hey, pretty much that you're not always going to get it. It's not just going to come to you. You're not just always going to be
Mhm.
Yeah.
handed something just because. So that's what I'm asking. If
Well,
you, if you,
Yeah.
do you under?
I understand now what you're saying.
Sure.
I do have a phrase that I adapted probably the last few years that you can
Mm,
breathe life or death into a child easy.
very true. Very true.
So they're
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
constantly observing mama or daddy or who the caregiver is for a certain amount of praise and approval always.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very
Um,
Yeah.
true.
but I think in contrast with that, you do have to be very honest with them about a lot of things. And like I mentioned before, of course, age appropriate wise,
Yeah,
what
it's
you would
levels
say
to
to
it.
your 5 year old, I hope what you would say to your 5 year old about certain things may be a little different from a 16, 17-year old that really understands
The
how the
capacity,
world
yeah.
works a little bit more. So I
Hmm.
think there has to
Exactly.
really be an even balance. But I do believe that um, you have to let them know. I guess it's like Miss Elena said, to keep them humble. That
Yeah. Yeah.
You are sometimes working against many things in my
Hmm.
eye. And I hate to bring this up, but hey, transparency. When we walk
Transparency.
Go
out,
with it.
when
Yeah.
we walk out into the world, like with my son, I had
Me.
to, I had to let you know certain things, that you had two things walking out in the world. When you
Yeah.
walk out into the world against you,
Hmm.
you're a person of color,
Hmm.
and there are things that are going to be, and you're a man. You will
Hmm.
be a man, and there are certain things that are going to be assumed about you that you gotta have to navigate around, and
Very true.
Yeah.
there's no way of saying that, and in a way, that was part of me being really honest with you and preparing you and keeping you safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so it was different, and then of course with your sister, with
Yeah.
Livy, it was the same type of thing too.
Hmm.
And I don't know how to say this as politically correct as possible. She does not have um she has a mix of friends,
Yeah.
and letting her know in a way that what they can do or how they're perceived is a lot different than the
Hmm.
way that you may be perceived,
Well
because of
said.
those
Exactly.
things that I mentioned, and
Yeah.
preparing her for
Exactly.
that. And not to be,
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is. You need to work hard. You need to ask questions for things you don't
Yes.
understand. You
I
Yeah.
feel
need
that.
to fight a lot of
Mm-hmm.
things. You need to speak up on a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
I feel that.
You are constantly going to be in some type of battle, in a sense. And I don't, I
Absolutely.
try very hard. I don't want to scare her, to make it be like, oh, as soon as you get out there,
Oh,
these
I
things,
know.
these
I
Right.
bad
know.
things are going to
Right.
happen to you. But when you're at home, where you have the love of mommy and daddy that are going to protect you, you're not going to get that
Very
in the
true.
Exactly.
workforce. You're not going to get that out there in the street, and you have
Yeah.
to. It can't be a shock to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, to really answer your question after my rant, um,
It's good.
you have to mix both in there. I
Yes.
tell her when something is good. Oh, I tell her
Yes.
when something is bad. I try very hard. I think I try with both of you, and remembering that it was a different, era of my life and
Very
age and
true.
everything, from you to her in different
Exactly.
circumstances. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Go
Yes.
over
Well,
different
Yes.
circumstances, but
Mm-hmm.
still just trying to keep it real. And there are some
yeah.
things that people be like,
Exactly.
well, why? I just I, I, I have said, people. I know people have say, "Oh my God, why'd you say that?" If you take this particular drug or
Hmm.
something, you may be addicted,
Yeah.
and this
Uh-huh.
may
Uh-huh.
happen to you. And
Yeah.
I
Right.
always, and I said it that way. You see that lady? I don't know if you
Hmm.
remember. I used to tell you all the time. Don't laugh at
Yeah.
that lady.
Yeah. Yeah.
That we knew was, for example, we knew was addicted to
Hey, Miss
something.
Kim.
Hi,
Hey,
Miss
Mm-hmm.
Miss
Kim.
Kim.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
That was
Hey
Yeah.
addicted
Hey,
to
Kim.
Mimi. Hey,
something,
Miss Kim.
and that's that humbleness, that you know our guest mentioned too. Hey, that's
Hmm.
somebody's daughter. That could have
Yeah.
been
Exactly.
you. That could have been me. That could have been
Yeah.
your grandmother.
Yeah.
Straighten it up.
Yeah.
Now, if
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
want to go down that route, you do the best you can. That's an
Hmm.
example right
Exactly.
there. You
Yeah.
pray for
Exactly.
her.
It's crucial.
You
Yeah.
pray for
It's
her.
crucial.
Dang,
It's
mom, you making
crucial.
me nervous. Like I'm doing
And
something.
and I'm
But it's
just saying,
true. No,
and
it's
I'm
it's
just
true. It's
saying,
crucial.
I
that's that
know. I know.
humbleness. Because
Yeah.
Yeah.
when you see something, we all see something, and I'll land. We see
Yeah.
something, and you got to admit, you'd be like, thank God it's
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
not. That's not
Yeah.
my child. Thank God it's
Yeah.
not me.
I feel
Thank
that.
God I'm not dealing with those particular things. But you better not forget that you could be.
Yeah. I
Exactly.
And
think there's
and
And
one
that's
thing that I
we are.
wanted
oh
one
Yeah.
yeah.
thing I want to throw in is that I actually, because I want to give, of course, the women. This is Women's
Yeah.
History Month, so I definitely want to give y'all uh, the majority of the time and to speak, because I
Hmm.
love hearing from y'all. I love the variety that I have here. I love the faces in front of me. I love the people in the
Hmm.
comments and everybody stopping by. But I want to highlight my mom. because I
Oh,
think I formally
thank
did this.
you.
I think we said everything about, Grammy and, well, hey Ma, because you're gonna watch this after, but
Hey, yeah, I know. Hi,
Grammy
mom.
and
Hi, mommy.
Kim and stuff too. But I wanted to highlight my mom because I'm grateful
Oh,
to
thank
be
you.
be always constantly reminded that certain things that I was saying, let me say this correctly, that some of my friends, some of the environments they have to deal with, some of the things they have to see, some of the things they have to deal with, I'm
Mm-hmm.
reminded, and I was always humbled by my family to say that, hey, if you don't have to deal with these things, number one, don't look down on these people for having to face these things,
Exactly.
for living in
Yeah.
certain places, for having just certain things going on in their lives that you don't
Exactly.
understand or have to
Mm-hmm.
deal with. I always
Yeah.
thank my
Never
mom
assume.
for
Well,
Mm-hmm.
thank
reminding
you.
me that
Welcome.
everything that you
Mm-hmm.
have, all the little toys and stuff that you had as a kid that you didn't think twice about,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't really a asker for toys too much. That's probably why I got
Yeah.
more because I didn't, ask too much.
No.
But
Yeah.
I still didn't know that, the shoes that I had on or something meant something to other people, or they were, I
Yeah.
didn't know as a kid. So I'm glad that I grew up with a lot of the morals and a lot of the values that my mom has instilled in me. And luckily I can say whether someone has been in jail or has a past or whatever or not, I'm just glad to say that I don't have a record, never had any
Yeah.
type of, interaction like that. So certain things that I've seen my friends and people that I know personally dealing
Mm.
with problems in the past that may have, messed up their future or still currently, messing up their future in terms of employment or whatever it may be. I'm just
Yeah.
grateful for people like, moms out there like my
Oh,
mom
thank
that did
you.
say, hey,
Thank you
Exactly.
so
remember
much.
that it can go away.
Exactly.
So
It
I
Exactly.
wanted to say
can.
that.
Yes.
And
I wanted to
and I
Exactly.
say
want
It
to
that.
say
can.
something really quick to you, Trayvon. The
Sure.
thing about it is even now, you're older, you're a man now. But there
Yeah.
are some times where I have to, again, age appropriate. I have to adjust
Yeah.
a little bit what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I said okay, and then
Yeah.
but and you know us. There's some time I say, hey, what do I tell you? I say, hey, get the bass out your voice.
Yeah, I
Let me
know.
chill.
Even still, you
Let
said
me
it.
All
chill.
You said
right.
it the other day. Let's
I
keep it
said,
real.
All
You
hey,
said it
right.
the
hey.
other
All
day.
right.
I said, oh,
Look, look,
uh,
and it's still like, who are you? Hey, you getting a little,
oh
you getting
no,
a little out of
oh,
sorts now,
oh, I
you
didn't say
know.
nothing.
But but I'm telling you things. I mean, you never
Yeah.
stop parenting.
Yeah.
Our other moms on the panel, you never stop parenting. You
Yeah.
know, and
Exactly.
you will always
Exactly.
try to do your best.
Yeah.
And the good thing about that is that I had my mom and I had my sister and I've had other women help me with that because I myself at the time with you
Mm.
was not fully, a good age to really understand what I know now.
Understand. Yeah.
You know
And
what I'm
I'm glad
saying?
that
Exactly.
you have a
Developing.
chance to
And
do it
I
for those
had
that have
that
kids later.
support.
Yeah.
I had that support,
Exactly.
and we honor. That's why we honor. The moms. I just want to say something really quick
Exactly.
about the moms. We have a resilience.
Hmm.
That
Hmm.
hey, we do things and then come home and still take care of house. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
That
Exactly.
part.
Still
Oh
take
my
care of
Yeah.
house.
God.
Y'all
Exactly.
agree? We
Yeah.
Especially
still take care
Agreed.
of
now.
house.
Exactly.
Agreed. Yep.
And that's no
Yeah.
shade against the men and everything, but we're highlighting the women not right now.
Yeah.
That
Oh
Exactly.
yeah. Oh yeah.
and
We
still
can't
take
forget
care of
about
it.
our men too. They're in there. They're
Yeah,
in there.
they're in there
They're in
too.
there.
But again, with highlighting the women,
Yeah, yeah, the
we
huge
we never
responsibility.
yeah we never the power of what a lot of women had to do and endure and
Mm.
still
Yeah,
get up sick,
yeah,
taking
Yeah.
care of
yeah,
everybody else.
Yeah.
You
exactly,
know, that's
exactly.
something. That's something, and I don't mean to preach, so please excuse me.
Oh no,
It's
no,
all
But
no.
right.
that's
Mm-mm. We're
It's
here
all
for
right.
that.
I'll
you
get
That's what
know
this
going.
supposed to be.
we
This is
will
what we're
take
trying to
care,
do.
and we will take care of them and our children in our house, sick as a dog,
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly,
Yeah.
regardless.
exactly, exactly.
So we have a resilience that we really need to straighten up our crowns on each other.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh
You
yeah,
know,
on
Say
each
that.
other.
straighten your
Say
crown.
that.
Absolutely. Say it again.
Hey, Miss
Straighten
Yelena,
straighten your
do.
crown. Straighten your crown.
Exactly,
Straighten your crown.
exactly.
Yeah,
You
do
Get
that
your straight
again. That's what
mind.
I'm talking.
Get
you
your
better
straight
share
mind
the
up. Come
Hey,
crown.
on.
right.
Yelena, you know, Yelena is she's a creator
Yes.
of the arts and things. Both of you,
Yes.
you and Yelena. Yelena, she has an amazing, phenomenal business, and she's gonna share that information with us. But let
Oh,
me
please
just
do.
she can make us a crown
That's
now.
all right. Straighten yours
Yes.
up. That's what I
Yeah.
need.
Woo,
Look, you
child.
straighten yours. Look, you
All
straighten
y'all
yours.
straight?
I'll straighten
Everybody
yours.
straight up?
We
Miss
And
help
you
we
Elena,
straighten
you
help
got
mine.
yours
each
straightened
other.
up? Go ahead,
Huh?
straighten yours up.
Exactly.
Your crown a little crooked. Put it back.
Yes, we must help straighten it. You
Here,
know,
Uh,
let me get
we
that for
that
you.
is that is that part. We must learn how to help straighten each other's crown.
Yeah.
m-
That is so significant. It's bananas. And it's thought provoking because it's so on point because it points to the aspect, the core of resilience. We
Yes.
are resilient through each
yeah,
other, because of each other. We strengthen each other, and we must educate our children so that they won't, experience the full effects of what's out there. There's a
Uh-huh.
whole heap of challenges that our children are experiencing. Uh, Everywhere. The thing is, how do they handle it? How do they cope?
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Emphasizing the fortitude and resilience of our women is so important. Because it offers children
Uh-huh.
the ability to understand diversity and
hmm
adversity. Adversity, they had some stuff that they probably don't even want to tell us about. Remember, I think I mentioned one time that there were certain things I thought that I couldn't tell my parents. But
Yes.
these days, in this digital age, you got to be open for your kid to be able to tell you like
Oh yeah.
anything,
yeah,
because of the challenge that he or she and the consequences. They also need to understand if they're going to accept certain things, there's consequences. And as
Yeah.
parents, you're not gonna like it. You you not gonna like. You may feel like you've fallen off the cliff already. However, it's how you handle it,
Yes.
how
Yes.
resilient, how strong you are in it, and also managing. How do you manage
Uh-huh.
that facet of
yeah,
human life? How do you manage that facet your children are exploring? How do you
Uh-huh.
engage? How do you change a narrative? So yeah, it's coping, and it's a lot, but it's a good thing. But we gonna
my
definitely
Uh-huh.
friend,
help each other straighten our crown. I
my
love
friend
that
Yes.
one,
Brian,
Straighten
Stephanie.
up.
and I like that, mom. I like that you did that like that.
I love that opulent one.
Straighten
My
Yes.
up.
friend, my friend Brian
Hmm.
said, he said, I never got a chance to thank my mom, and I want to thank her for making me the man that I am today. That's my
Oh,
Oh,
friend Brian that
shout
checked out.
out.
He was on the last show, and I
that's
thank him for checking it out.
beautiful.
And I thank you for even saying
Yes,
Yep.
that
Brian.
about your mom on this show, because
Yes.
I worked with
It's
Brian and I
beautiful.
um, didn't even know that about him, that he didn't have his mom. So,
Yeah.
Wow. Oh,
that
wow.
it, it puts me it makes me feel a way, because it's like I have my mom on here, and so so for someone to share that
Absolutely.
they don't know, they do no longer have their mom the way I
Yes.
know
Wow.
they would want to. It definitely makes
Absolutely.
me uh thank my mom again, thank God again for her existence still, because I do
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
realize any family member in general, but she nothing I know there's nothing like lose a parent.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know what that feels like
It's a
yet. I
lot.
don't want to know anytime soon.
Yeah.
But at the same
Exactly.
time, thank you for
I
sharing
don't
that and
either.
even saying that.
Yes,
And
thank you,
then
Thank
Brian. Thank you,
you.
Brian.
my friend,
And thank you for
my
being this amazing. She
yes,
made this amazing Brian. Brian, you are another star. You are
yeah.
another
Yes.
star. And we thank you for shining with us tonight. Absolutely. We love you for
Um,
that. We love you like no other,
thank
as
you,
God does.
thank you.
Absolutely.
And then
Absolutely.
my friend
Yes.
Paris, my friend Paris that stopped by last time, that each one of you gave her a little good grace, and some wisdom and some tips on just staying and keeping her mind clear,
Yeah.
in
Oh, yes,
reference
Queen
to
Paris.
losing her aunt.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
Queen.
she's back in here. She's been watching from the beginning. So thank you,
Thank
both
Absolutely.
Brian
you.
and Paris, for
Absolutely.
being here. If you don't mind, real
Yes,
quick, guys,
yes.
I just wanted to shout out to those that also came in. Miss Kim, I don't know if she's still in here watching. My friend, I
Yes.
would never call her Gerline, but she's known as Gerlines, on in
All
here. That's
right.
her name is Gerline, but
All
Nini
right.
is what I
All
call
right.
her.
Yes.
All
Kenneth
right.
also also is somebody who steps by pretty often. So, shout out
Yes.
to him. But
Kenneth.
just want y'all to, say
Absolutely.
hello to the people that's still in here and watching, because we got six
Hello.
people in here right now. So whatever
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank
whatever
you.
Absolutely.
y'all
Thank
hearing
you
has
for
been
that.
keeping y'all in here for something.
And thank
So
you for
thank you
staying
for
with
staying as long
us.
as you have.
We
Yeah,
thank you
thank you.
for that. Absolutely.
Women's History
Mhm.
Month,
We thank you
everybody.
for your
Accountability.
resilience.
Yes.
Exactly. Accountability and
Mhm.
support. We thank you because, this thing on accountability is really resonating, and it's spreading like wildfire like never before. It's like everybody's on a mission. It's like the
Mhm.
mind has shifted. When the mind
Hmm.
shifts to something bigger and better, then that means we're gonna be all right. So it looks
Yeah.
like we're
That
all
part.
straightening out our crowns. All the kings and
Thank
queens
you.
up in here tonight are straightening our crowns. We are helping each
Yeah,
other straighten out our crowns, our thoughts,
I
Yeah.
like
and
that.
provoke and narrate and change a narrative on mental health support, because this shows that we are resilient because we are educating our children. We're emphasizing the fortitude and the resilience of and the historical effect that it's had on women, and we're giving our community, our children, something tangible, something
Mhm.
that they can go to bed on and wake up with, and say, hey, this is what we need to do, this is what needs to happen, and take a whole different perspective on it, and presenting ourselves as role models, and
Mhm.
also emphasizing those role models in our families, in our communities, and our children will become even greater role models, because that's the goal, for them to become even greater role models, and
Of course,
reminding them
Thank
parents.
that they are
you.
not alone. We also
Yeah.
need to encourage our children, our community of children, and our own. Every child, you're not alone, because
Yeah.
so many times our young folks think that they're alone in
Yeah.
everything, because no conversations are being held. People are afraid to talk with them. And I always encourage, especially my generation, they tend to talk at our children. This doesn't go for
Mhm.
everybody, boomers, the
Mhm.
Joneses. This doesn't go for everybody, so don't get it twisted. I'm just saying that
Right.
we must learn to embrace our young folks, because they are really our mini me's. To tell you the
Yeah.
truth,
Mhm.
they are really our heartfelt uh, images of how we feel in life. So we have to embrace them and encourage them. They are not alone. They can be anybody, do anything that they want to be, as long as they understand the consequences and the things that come with it, and
Yeah.
they understand accountability and support, and make that effort to do things in the correct.
Oh,
She said something about them making efforts to do things in the correct way.
yeah.
It's not a problem that she had chimed out. If she's able to come back in before we wrap it up, then that's cool. But I did
Mhm.
want to thank everybody for stopping in here, staying in here. Thank you, Miss
Mhm.
Kim. She said that she's still in the building. So
Thank
Miss Kim is
you.
one of the people from the plug. One of the
Mhm.
she's the first one, honestly, to get on the dance floor. The first one to get everybody going. So she's the one in the environment that
Mhm.
she puts a little fire into the equation. She's a part of a
Yes.
group that I was introduced to called the Plug. So all of those members, Rico, Michelle, Miss Kim, Nene,
Mhm.
Molly, myself, all of these people that are and have done and still doing great things in the community, doing great things with each other, business wise. People that are definitely inspiration. Molly is one of the people that
Mhm.
I shout out all the time for being my inspiration to want to do what I'm doing now. He's the one that I
Mhm.
seen doing it first. So shout out to
Mhm.
Althea McFarlane and the Morning Mac Show, because that's what I actually started on StreamYard before actually coming to this side. Yes, mommy, what's up?
Yeah. I don't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to see one or two, if you don't mind, of I messed up a name terribly. Oh,
That's okay.
um,
Miss Yelena, you Miss
Miss
Yelena, that's what you
Yelena.
mean.
Miss Yelena, can I see one of your creations, if you don't
Oh
mind?
yeah. And then I'm gonna show you my mom's. Oh, make sure you unmute your mic, Miss Yelena. I'll do it
Yep.
for you.
Okay.
Yep,
Just
unmute.
really
Yep,
quick.
there you
I
go.
have
Yep.
some of the stuff. So Here, for example, this is a Mother's Day card.
Oh, I
Oh
love it.
wow, full screen.
I love
Let's see.
it.
Oh wow, my
It's so
grandmother's gonna love
pretty.
that because she makes stuff like that. She loves arts and crafts like that.
Oh my God,
Oh
I love it.
wow,
So you got to
oh
frame that.
wow.
You don't want to get rid of
Well, to
that.
your mother, but wow, but your family, all the world.
These are
Beautiful.
cards for
Oh
sale.
wow,
Mother's Day cards I'm selling.
yeah, that's what's
Wow.
up.
These are for sale. These are not stuff I'm keeping.
I hope that you
Mhm.
stick with that business name that you told me that you change
Yes.
for different reasons
Toxic
because
Lady. Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
anybody that you want to shout out,
Something like this.
anyone that you
Oh,
want to
that's
shout out as far as
gorgeous.
like your business or your motivation or anything like that.
See, one of my mom is. I come from a long line of women of creators and
Yeah,
mistresses and creative women, and I used to always, as I had my third child, I used to say, "Dear God, send me something that I can do from home that is like
Yeah.
safe enough for me to spend time at home and be with my kids at the same time."
Yeah.
I want
exactly.
a side business, something, and I used to pray on it. I used to talk to God. I used to be like, "Oh my God, please send me something because I don't want to do real estate. I don't want to run around. I don't want to go outside. Then I'll miss
Yeah.
out
Right.
being with my kids.
Yeah,
I want to do something that I can still be with my kids."
yeah.
Little by little, it just came. It's just one of those things, you know.
That's what's
Yes,
up.
yes.
Beautiful.
Like
It's a
I
good
I
was,
ain't
thing.
I
mad at
started
It's
that.
doing like
good.
passion parties, and I was like, I can't be having this stuff around my kids.
I know, right?
And then so I was like, dear God, send me something that I can work really, really hard at, be really, really good at, and still be home. And
Right.
it
Hey,
doesn't pay the
Trevon,
bills,
Excellent.
but
show
it helps.
her.
Excellent.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
said show her.
show her
You
what
see
I
how
have for
moms be
you.
talking to us sometimes. He
I
said,
don't have
show
anything in
her.
front of
Show
me.
her, son.
You see the little flowers I was
Oh,
working on?
wow.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah, I like that. All
Let
of
me
it.
Beautiful.
show off my mom's artwork. Let me make myself full screen for a moment. Solo
Yes.
screen.
I heard
Yelena,
you're
you must
There you
share your
go.
site. You must share your site with us too.
That is
Oh,
beautiful.
wow. Beautiful.
I like
There
Oh,
you
that.
wow.
go.
That is
made
so
out of
beautiful.
resin?
One of my favorite colors.
Yes.
Oh, my
Trayvon,
Yeah.
what
goodness.
is
Um,
it?
It's
I know it's a
gold
frog,
and
but
everything. It's,
Yeah, I got a
oh,
couple of
man.
them.
Beautiful.
It's 2-part epoxy resin. It takes probably about 24 hours to fully cure in 2 layers.
Miss Shannon,
Wow.
And those are
business.
embeds
Wow.
in there of gears.
Love
Um,
it. Yes, I see the gears. It's
Wow.
beautiful.
So, yep. So it's 2 parts. So
Yes,
the
it
portion where the
is.
gears go, it's that takes you set it up and it takes 8 hours, 9 hours to cure, and then you pour a second layer onto it. So it's 2 layers, 24
Mhm.
hours total to do.
Miss Shannon,
Wow.
do you have
I do
an
those.
Etsy page?
Wow.
I don't have an Etsy page at all. I'm
I
actually
keep
doing
trying to tell her.
no, that's a long
It
story.
takes a lot
I'm
of
actually
All
doing a
right.
couple things.
Trayvon,
It's
not
all
a
right.
So I
secret.
do.
Y'all gonna get together on this one.
So I'm going to do that. And I also am studying wire work, for
Yeah.
wire work jewelry and
Yeah.
epoxy and doing paint pours as well.
Yeah.
For,
I want a
um,
copper
after
crown
Cool.
eventually. That's what I want is a
Yep.
copper crown.
Miss
If you know what you
Shannon,
know
are
about
you
copper
doing
and its
Hey.
benefits for
Oh
you,
yeah,
then yeah.
Exactly.
I got some things. I just
Wow.
love it.
Wow.
I love it. So therapeutic, y'all,
Exactly.
to
Yeah.
focusing on
Yes, it
creating
is.
and just redirecting your troubles and whatever you're thinking of mentally somewhere else. Put
Exactly.
all that energy onto
Wow, you
something
guys
else.
are not playing.
And I'm telling you,
I think I saw Alpha in the
but I
house.
love
I think
it.
Alpha. Was that Chef
Let me
Alpha?
see. Is that
I
her in
think
the
that was
background? I
Chef
see
Alpha.
somebody pop up in the background. Let me see. One
Yep.
I
second.
think
Let me see.
so.
So thank you for
Her
sharing.
Wow, we got
Thank
camera.
all
you.
these
You're
all this
welcome.
art juice
You guys
flying
are
tonight.
amazing.
I tell you,
I
creation
want to
is
see.
Thank
booming.
you.
That's Miss Latoya in
Oh
the
man.
background. Miss
Oh, that was
Latoya in the
Toya.
background.
All right,
Yeah,
Toya.
that's who that was in the background. Shout out
All
to
right,
Ari
all
for stepping
right.
in. Joy. Shout out to Joy for
Oh,
stopping in. Hey,
Yes. Shout out
your
to
son, one of
Latoya.
the kings in your bloodline, has stopped by. Got to be me
where?
TV. He said, "Oh my God, that would be so perfect in my living room."
Well, hey, hit me up. Hit me up.
Look, and
Joey,
that's a
that's
that's a
Let's
plug
talk.
for all of the
listen.
in here
Joey,
because
Yeah.
yeah,
absolutely. We got business going on here tonight because Joey
big business.
loves the art. We got big business going. Listen, don't y'all go to sleep on us. We got some great stuff happening tonight.
Yes.
We got great things happening. Look at here. Look at what resilience and fortitude. Look at what resilience and love has done with our women. We are putting it down, and our men. We thank our men. We thank our sons, our uncles, our
Hey,
husbands,
thank
our
you, thank you, thank
brothers,
you.
our nephews, our grandsons, everybody, our community leaders for just staying with us, you know, for just hanging in
Yeah,
there with us as stressful as it can be.
yeah,
Stressful.
I feel
Looks
that.
like we got orders
Oh, yeah.
tonight. We got orders already. Listen,
That's
we gonna
cool.
put it out there. We got some sites. We got some websites that's gonna come up. You're gonna see these phenomenal products. You're gonna see these creative juicers rocking and rolling with one Yelena and our also opulent one. I can hardly wait. Oh my God. And we just thank you, Latoya, for passing through tonight. Is she back in? There she is.
Let me see if
Hey,
she back in.
Latoya.
I see it back there. Let's let her slide in real quick. Don't
Hey,
be afraid, Mr.
Latoya.
Toy. How you doing?
Hey,
Miss
Latoya.
Latoya. Hey, girl.
How
I
you
don't know if she
doing?
has her
Well, yeah.
her
Oh, she
microphone
got.
muted or not. I think she was trying to unmute her
Okay.
Yeah, I think
microphone.
she's trying to unmute it. She'll be back. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah,
Latoya?
she's trying to talk. Let's see.
But
Take
okay.
your mic off.
Let me see. I'm trying to unmute
Unmute
her.
her.
Let's see.
Yeah, unmute her.
I'm trying to, but she did this. See if she
Okay.
can hear us or not.
Toya,
Okay.
no, maybe the connection. Well, you know, we love you,
That's all right. We
Latoya,
can
for
catch her the
just
next
she's
time.
been. We'll catch
Yeah.
up with her, and she's another phenomenal woman. We honor her. She's my neighbor. She's like my child too, because she came up with my children. I love her so much, like my own. And her mom, we honor her and her entire family of women and men who have really put it down. I tell you, she's a phenomenal young woman, and we also help her crown, fix her crown. We are helping each other fix
it
our
up.
Hey,
crown.
y'all straighten
All
up
the
y'all
kings
crowns
and
one
the
more
queens.
time.
Straighten it up.
And let's
Straighten it up. Get it together. You too, Miss Shalana. Straighten up your crown. We gotta see you do it.
So we
Straighten it
gonna
up.
keep straightening it up.
Fix it up.
Absolutely.
That's
Oh
what I'm
yes.
talking
Oh
about.
yes.
That's what I'm talking
Oh
about.
yes.
Fix your
That's what we
crown,
gonna
Grand
do.
Queen.
Hey,
It's a
I
little
like
crooked.
the move.
Put it over.
Hey.
Fix your crown, Trevon. It's falling off.
Yeah, that part.
Yes. Get to it,
I love
kings
it.
and queens. That's
Mhm.
right. Let them
Yeah.
know. Let them know.
That's
So
better.
listen,
Let me
you
look at
guys
everybody.
just
It's
have
better.
like a phenomenal week. And we coming
too.
back at you on next week. Coming back. Tell us about the pit stop.
Oh
Trey?
yeah, you already know. I gotta say something about that real
Go
quick.
ahead.
Well,
Go
the
ahead.
pit stop, you guys know, is a show that we do on. Man, and it was fun. Like that's the perfect recap.
Yes.
I'll be trying to invite some of my people
Yeah, we
to,
had a time.
and you already know I stay on the same whoever it reaches. So I'm not gonna over mass produce the people that I know clearly see my content. I'm just gonna work on
Exactly.
continuing to establish those connections. Like Miss Yelena, I'm glad I was able to have a phone conversation with you before you even got on. I'm glad you stopped by because you said you would. I believed you when you said it, but making these connections and just making them stick after that. So it's nice when people come into my job and ask me, you know, my friend Brian, you know, what, you didn't send me this stuff on the show. I remember you said that. So that type of stuff sticks with me because it's like it's important enough for somebody to ask again. You know, so Sundays is our shows from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. That's called Just Stop It. But I named Wednesday the Pit Stop because I want that quick interaction. Same thing you get when you think of a pit stop, how a NASCAR stops in, they get their service in maybe 30 seconds and they're gone. So the people stay in for 2 or 3 minutes just to say hello. You make that for 5 minutes and you have to go and go about your business. That's okay. That's what the pit stop is for. It's just a quick interaction. We dub it as the mental health check-in, the kind of hello, hey, what's going on for the week.
How you doing?
So, exactly, type of thing. And we're letting you know what's going on, what happened the previous Sunday as a recap, and then we're letting you know what to anticipate on the next Sunday coming up. So that's that's that part. One thing I gotta do at the end, our disclaimer. So let me bring that up real quick. This is a JTI friendly disclaimer, everybody, that the information in this video is not intended nor implied to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. All content is to be considered as such. We are mental health advocates only here for you.
Yes.
So that's that.
Exactly.
Tell 'em.
So exactly. And we just and again we give a shout out to it's St. Patty's Day to all the women who celebrate Irish women, Black Irish, Hispanic Irish. It doesn't matter. Senegalese Irish, it doesn't matter. We celebrate women, period. Now we know we're gonna keep fixing our crown. We're gonna keep helping each other fix our crown. And through resilience and advocating for accountability and support for good mental health. We love you like no other, as God does. Come on back to the pit stop and back to Just Stop It.
That part. Shout out to everybody who stayed in here. It's consistent views in here. I appreciate that. Now, you would expect people to want to celebrate and jump joy for 15, 20, 25, but I'm liking the consistency in the numbers each time that we come in here. So I don't care if it's two people, because it started off as 1 and 2. Now it's it was 4, it was 5, 6. Now it's a consistent 8 people. So I appreciate for everybody giving us your time, because you don't have to. We do acknowledge the fact that you don't have to be here if you don't want to be, and we're not pressuring you to be either, because we're not here for everyone. We're here for everyone. For those that we reach. Those that need something from what we're doing, and we're definitely glad that you came by. So I wanted to thank everybody again, Miss Kimberly Brown. I want to shout out. I want to shout out Joy. Got to be me TV. That's the king of the. We already know that. We know y'all family. Pretty P. That's my friend Paris. My friend Brian for stopping in. Miss Nee. The queen of the flock. Kenneth Clark. So thank y'all for being the people to stop in and be consistent.
Let me give a
Appreciate
shout out
the love.
to Joy. That's my ride or die. Joy is my ride or die.
That part.
Joy, I tell you, she and I, we know we fix each other's crown on a regular. You understand? But now God is blessing me with more kings and queens in my life. I tell you that one, that's my ride or die.
Awesome?
That's what's up.
Absolutely. And we just love everybody for passing through tonight, and just keep doing what you do. Keep doing what you do, and keep advocating for good mental health support, and stay with it. Keep at it, and it's all good. So until next week.
All right, y'all. Thank you, Miss Elena, for being on. Thank you.
Hey.
All right, y'all.
Bye.
All right. Bye, mommy. All right, y'all. Y'all know how we do. Good night.